You know that cold aisle? Hundreds of boxes, zero clarity. That overwhelming feeling of not knowing what to grab, or if it will even work. In the next minute, you'll get a clear action plan. No guessing, no wasted money. Just simple steps you can use today. And one crucial don't do this most people miss. No fluff, no hype. Only what actually moves the needle when a cold hits. Stay to the end. Your entire cheat sheet appears on one clean slide. Pause, save, and apply these steps to your cold battle plan.
Let's be real. Is there anything more annoying than the common cold? It shows up, ruins your week, and trying to figure out how to actually feel better can be just so frustrating. Well, today we're going to dive in and decode this thing once and for all. We're going to figure out what really works. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You walk into the pharmacy, you're feeling miserable, and you're just staring at this wall of boxes. Everything is promising instant relief. It is so overwhelming, you're thinking, what's for my stuffy nose? What about this cough? Do any of these things actually do what they say they do? Hey, if you're confused, you are so not alone. The advice out there is all over the place, and even the experts don't always agree. And worse, a lot of the stuff on those shelves, it just doesn't work. Plain and simple. So today, we are cutting right through all that noise. Okay, so if we're going to win this fight, we have to know our enemy. Before we even touch on treatments, let's get on the same page about what a cold actually is. Seriously, understanding this one thing makes everything else click into place. So at its heart, the common cold is a viral infection. Most of the time, it's caused by something called the rhinovirus. And here's the wild part. Viruses aren't even technically alive. They're like these little hijackers, totally different from bacteria, and because they're different, we have to fight them differently. And this right here, this is why you should never ask your doctor for antibiotics when you have a cold. It's so important. Look, antibiotics are designed to kill bacteria, like for strep throat. They do absolutely nothing to a virus. Nothing. Taking them when you don't need them just contributes to this huge global problem of antibiotic resistance. So the main takeaway is this. You can't kill the cold virus. You just have to let it run its course while you manage the symptoms. So if we can't kill the virus once it's taken hold, what's the best strategy? You guessed it. The best treatment for a cold is to just not get one in the first place. This is your first, and honestly, your most powerful line of defense. I know. This sounds like everything your mom told you, but it's true because it works. Washing your hands all the time, trying not to touch your face, and maybe avoiding your super sick coworker. These are the basics that will keep you healthy. And yeah, for real, be suspicious of doorknobs. Now, what about supplements? Let's talk about what the science actually says. There are two that seem to make a real difference. Vitamin C, about 1,000 milligrams a day, probably won't stop you from getting a cold, but it might make it go away a little faster. Zinc, on the other hand, at around 10 milligrams a day, might actually lower your chances of getting sick to begin with. Now, zinc can also help after you're already sick, but there is a major catch. You have to be fast. The absolute second you feel that little tickle in your throat, you gotta start. The plan is about 10 milligrams every 3 hours, but if you wait longer than 2 or 3 days to start, it's probably not gonna do much. Okay, huge warning on this one, pay attention. While taking zinc pills or lozenges is fine, you need to stay away from the zinc sprays that you squirt up your nose. There is a real risk of permanently, and I mean permanently, damaging your sense of smell. It's just not worth it. Stick to the stuff you take by mouth. All right, so your prevention plan failed. You're sick. It happens to all of us. Now we get to the main event. This is your practical symptom by symptom guide to the stuff that will actually make you feel better. This is your battle plan. For that fever, the chills, the overall I feel like I got hit by a truck feeling, your two go-to options are acetaminophen and ibuprofen. They both work. And here's a fun fact, we don't really even know how acetaminophen works, it just does. Ibuprofen works by blocking inflammation. Really, you can pick whichever you prefer, but you should know they have different risks. And if you do go with acetaminophen, you have to remember this number, 4,000 milligrams. That is the absolute maximum you can take in one day. And I'm not kidding around, taking too much is one of the top causes of sudden liver failure. So you have to keep track of how much you're taking. What about that leaky faucet of a nose? The best thing for that is an older, first-generation antihistamine, like diphenhydramine. It works partly because it has this awesome drying effect, which is exactly what you need. The big downside? Yeah, it can make you pretty sleepy. Everybody lean in because this might be the most important thing we talk about today. For a stuffy, congested nose, you want the stuff with pseudoephedrine. You know, the kinds you have to ask the pharmacist for. What you want to avoid is phenylephrine, which is in almost everything else sitting out on the shelf. The science is crystal clear. Oral phenylephrine is basically useless. It's junk. Don't waste your money. Now, if you want really fast, powerful relief for that stuffy nose, a nasal spray with oxymetazoline is amazing. It works almost instantly. But, and this is a huge but, you can only use it for 3 days. 3 days, that's it. Go any longer and you risk something called rebound congestion, where you end up more stuffed up than when you started. You can literally become dependent on it. Okay, let's talk about maybe the most annoying symptom of them all, the cough. You know, the one that just lingers forever? Yeah, that one. And for this, we really need to set some realistic expectations, right from the get-go. And look, I want to be straight with you. This quote pretty much says it all. Our medicines for cough, they're just not that good. Even the strong stuff a doctor can prescribe isn't all that great. So we're not looking for a miracle cure here, we're just trying to manage it a little bit. So what can you actually do? Well, for a dry hacking cough, a suppressant with dextromorphin might give you a tiny bit of relief. Just be careful with it. Now, for that heavy junky feeling in your chest, I'd say skip the guaifenesin, which is the main ingredient in Mucinex. A way better option, though it is more of an investment, is a saline nebulizer. It turns salt water into a mist you breathe in, and it really helps break up all that gunk. Alright, let's tackle the last big one, that raw, scratchy, painful sore throat. The good news is, after the bad news about coughs, we actually have some really great options that can numb the pain right where it hurts. Your best friends here are going to be topical numbing sprays. A spray with phenol in it is a solid, effective choice. If you want the most relief you can get, look for a benzocaine spray. It works incredibly well, but it does usually cost a bit more. Both of them work by just numbing everything in your throat so you can get some peace. Whew, okay, we have covered a ton of ground. So let's pull it all together into one simple evidence-based cheat sheet. This is your new toolkit for the next time you feel that cold coming on. Here it is, your whole game plan on one slide. For prevention, think about zinc. For fevers and aches, grab acetaminophen or ibuprofen. Runny nose? Diphenhydramine is your friend. Stuffy nose? Pseudoephedrine pills or a 3-day max of oxymetazoline spray. Chest congestion? Try a saline nebulizer. Sore throat? A phenol or benzocaine spray. And for that dry cough, remember to just manage your expectation. And there you have it. You now know what works, what doesn't, and most importantly, why. The next time you're standing in that cold and flu aisle, you're not going to be confused. You're going to be an expert. You'll know exactly what to grab, which leaves just one last question for you to think about. All right, quick wrap-up. Now you know what actually works for the common cold and what to skip. If this saved you time and tissues, like this video, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next evidence-based breakdown. Your turn. What's your go-to when symptoms start? Vitamin C, zinc, saline, or something else? Drop your answer in the comments. I read everyone. Stay healthy, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.